Welcome everyone to our Earth Nouveau Hub, exploring consciousness as a team. And let's just mute this lady. She's always very noisy. Okay. Today we're going to talk about fun, right? So, because this is something that I think is particularly important at the moment. And it's coming through everywhere, and it's almost like everything is changing somewhat. So I suppose the way we have fun is also going through a little bit of a renaissance. Would you say that? Oh, you can unmute, obviously.
Yeah, well, we've had to adapt ourselves from lockdown as well.
Yeah, adapt. And also, it's going to change. I mean, fun has always been an interesting energy for me, because I always had to look at what is actually fun for me. And I suppose I've realized over the years that fun for me is acknowledging that I do things differently. And because I think I had such judgment about the way I'm doing things for such a long time, that I sometimes misidentified as being a rebel, more like that, but it's actually fun for me. Certain things. To give you an example, I mean, I was just saying to Laura and to Amy, I just drove for 2 hours from the southwest of London, where I live, a little bit outside, to the east end. Took us 2 hours, my daughter and myself, and we just had a coffee there because we didn't have more time. Obviously, I had to be back another hour and a half to get back. And when I look at this now, it's like, this is actually fun for me, to do things that don't necessarily make a lot of sense to other people, and that reminded me, and I'm finished talking in a minute, I have done this a lot in my life. I remember when I lived in Austria, to drive from Vienna to Venice is not such a big deal. Yeah, I can't remember now, 6-7 hours or something. And I remember doing that, driving to Venice, have a coffee, walk around a little bit, and drive back home again. Same day, doesn't make sense. But that, I think, for me, things that don't make sense are actually fun for me. So that's what I'm putting forward here. This is my kind of fun, and I want to know, we all want to know, what is your kind of fun?
You mean inspirational fun, that is, isn't it?
Anything.
That's spur of the moment fun, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
And living outside your comfort zone.
Yes, living outside the comfort.
And doing things out of the norm.
Yeah,
well. Doing things out of routine really inspire me and make me feel alive. If I get too stuck in routine, I have to change it, and not even change it to another routine, just go and do something different at bizarre times. And I like to hang around with people who will drop everything to go and see a sunset. Yeah, or anything, or just take off in the car. Yeah, that for me is fun. Just go exploring anything. Yeah, anything, because I think particularly with lockdown, we've all got, maybe some of us have gotten a bit of a rut because we've been in. Although if you've been able to travel a bit just in the car, people have also discovered fun. So it's worked both ways, because they've got out more, because they've got more time, haven't they? Some people, I know it doesn't apply to everybody, but some people working from home, maybe if, I know people who work for a while and then have to get up and go for a walk, and they've walked in their local area, but they never really knew their local area. They only saw it going by car, going to work and coming back.
Exactly.
But, yeah, it depends what you class as fun, but for me, it's, as you say, being inspirational like that.
Yeah, and being out of the norm, that's what you said. It's almost like, with clothes. I do remember, living in different countries, always making sure that, not not forcing myself, but if I'm in London, I wear something that is not necessarily what you get here, you know. I would wear my lederhosen, you know, from Austria or something. I would never wear it when I'm in Austria. Yeah. You know, so, you know, traditional clothes that in different countries, I love that kind of contrast in a way. Can you guys relate to that too?
Totally.
So I don't know if that is wanting to be different or something, or just wanting to get a reaction out of people. I don't know if that, I don't know if that's what it is. It's this is
You don't do get a reaction though, do you? You don't do that to get a reaction from people. You do that, that's fun for you.
Yeah. I was just asking the question to myself now, you know, because why would I do that? But it's actually fun for me, yes.
Yeah.
Andrea, you've got your hand up. Yes, please. What is fun for you, babes?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. No, I'm just following protocol.
Yes, good. I like it.
Yes, I can relate to what Martina is saying. Martina knows me that this is my department. You know, I get up and wherever the wind blows me, literally, I end up on Friday. I was swinging by 6:30 from a tree. I didn't know I will do that, but I did. Or, you know, when you go for a walk, Laura might relate to this, and you come to an end, almost the end of the walk. You think, okay, I'm going to sit down, have my picnic, it will be lovely. And then I saw this hill. I said, oh, I have to climb this hill. I said, okay. And as I was climbing, I looked back and two guys were coming on a bike, but it was quite a hill. And they were struggling. And I said, come on, guys, you can do it, you can do it. And one left me and there was one behind me. And I just spoke to him. I said, you know, good morning. And I said to him, come on, you can do this. And then I don't know where, I just thought, I'm going to push you. So I got his bike from the back. I couldn't walk. You know, I was struggling. He was struggling. So I just went up the hill, pushed him, running. He was like, yay. And he said to me, I don't think you are human. I said, no, I'm not. And it was fun. It just came out of nowhere. And he had fun. I had fun. He said, can you come next week? I said, maybe. I pop up at some point. And it's just fun. And I went there and saw the sunrise, saw the sun. I like the sunset. I find, you know, people. And for me, fun is it's like it's just in the moment.
Yeah.
Could be anything. Could be clothing. Could be finding a sea glass, could be weaving a willow, could be making something, could be eating something. But mostly my most fun comes when it just happens with people, just people around me. And I can tell you trillions of examples. Yeah. Trillions.
Oh, thanks for that energy. You know, so it's a slightly different type of energy. That's that connecting energy with someone, you know.
Because it's I think having fun, of course I can have fun on my own, like today, what I did, but when you are interacting with others, that transpires through the universe, you know, like it touches more people, you know, it's, I like that, you know, and, you know, you were with your daughter, so you had fun together, so it transpires onto more
with daughter.
Yeah.
On the phone, you know, it's like
yes, but it's
you know,
yeah.
No, I hear what you're saying. Now, thanks for that, Andrea. So we've got Amy now as well. Amy, got her hands up. What do you got?
Okay. All right. I understand the spontaneous because I'm more like that. It could be like even this morning, I'll give you an example. I heard a bird outside and he just did this one whistle and I'm like, I whistled back to him and he whistled back to me. And we played this little exchange. And I'm like, that was fun. Like, that was fun for me. So things like that pop on, I can do that. Another thing was, because I wrote down a list of
cool, yeah.
Spontaneous. Yeah. So also like, if you're driving and you see a sign like a caverns or, you know, let's go there. Like you know, let's check that place out, like check little towns out. I like to do that. My husband, not so much, but I like to do it. You know, he has to get there. I like to go.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. But you were talking about, like, what was your questions? What used to be fun?
Yeah.
What is fun now?
Exactly. How has the fun changed for you? Yeah. Can you perceive a difference? Yeah.
Well, you have to be a little more creative if you're in lockdown. So cooking became fun for me. Being creative with that. Watching movies that, you know, I thought were like, but I'd watch it and be like, oh, that's not a bad movie. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me just read what we've got here for some people who rather want to write. I've got lately, Alfredo is saying, lately playing video games with the kiddos, getting me out of meditation or practice when they're excited. Nice one. Camping in the garden in the summer, yes. I have a Stevie, the squirrel. He comes and steals my neighbor's flower bulbs and eats them in my garden, so I tell him off. Exploring, camping in the garden, yeah. So does anyone want to say something to that in particular? That they have that sense that, oh, Davis, you got your hand up, please. Bear with me, guys, because I need to, you know, familiarize myself with this hand business. So thank you. And once you're done talking, take the hand down, right? Otherwise I get confused, even though we're only 12 people. So Dave, please unmute. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, tennis has been my source of fun. You know, from last June, they loosened the lockup some. You know, before that, it was just pretty much staying in and going to the grocery store. But I have a group of friends that I play with, and it's almost meditation, because it's being in that moment with at each point when the ball's coming. You're in that no time feeling, waiting to respond. So that's quite fun, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't have the expectation, because if you have the expectation, that affects the outcome. So it's you know, a very meditative process for me. And that, you know, the winning and losing, you know, non-competitive is there, but it's doing the best you can every point. You know, you're trying to do the best. You have two jobs: get it over the net and in the court. You know, however you do it, you know, you can do it. So it's just reacting to that moment. So that's really been a savior for me, you know, during the lockdown, because it's also, the courts are down in a floodplain, so you have trees and animals and deer, and just very relaxing and fun as well.
You're also using your body, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, and that's part of it. You know, we started playing 2-3 times a week, so the days in between were recovering from playing, then preparing to play the next time. So yeah, it was a good process. And you know, it's also with fun. You know, I live in a condo that has a 7-story parking deck, and I have a view of the eastern horizon. So I'm walking to work every day. When I'm working from home, I just get up and do laps as the sun rises. So I get the sunrise every day. So that also adds to my fun. Just enjoyment of life, you know, being, you know, trying to be in that mystical life all the time.
I'm hearing a lot of simplicity in our kinds of fun, right? We are starting to really just having fun with such simple things, actually, right? In a way. Thanks for sharing that. And I love that you brought in the body as well, you know, the movement. How much fun can that be, using your body to move, actually? Right.
And, you know, my Qigong practice is part of that, because it helps my reactions and that, you know, in the game. Well, people think, oh, how'd you get that? And it's just, you know, the practice of doing that so that you're in the flow of the moment.
Yeah, we must actually, Dave is part of our team, obviously, and once you are out of your engagement, your working engagement, you got more time, you must actually do a little Qigong soon with us, you know, maybe guide us through a couple of exercises or just tell us the theory.
No, it's practice. It's experiential. You have to do it. That's all part of Qigong.
Dave, we got a bit of a back thing with your, there's something going, guys.
Yeah, I think they're emptying a dumpster across the way.
It actually sounds a bit like someone playing tennis. I think that you had sound effects.
Great. Now, Susanna Hopkins, good to have you on. You want to say something about fun? I know you're a fun chick too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just try to follow the fun in the moment, like most of us really, you know, what will bring joy in the moment, what will bring fun in the moment. One of the daily things that brings me lots of fun is my beautiful dog, Sophie. And so cycling around with her in the basket or her in her little coats and things brings so much joy to so many people as I've been cycling around. So it's quite good fun. And also having like little mini holidays, because we have been so limited in getting out and about. I've been having like special days out where I go out with a friend into nature once a week. Mm-hmm. So for example, last week we went to West Kirby, which is on the seaside on the Wirral, and there's beautiful cliffs overlooking the Dee estuary. So we sat there and it was a lovely day and it was just joyful and hearing all the kids playing and everything. So I found that because there's been quite a bit of constriction around traveling and everything, just going somewhere beautiful. It was 40 minutes away on the train, very accessible. But the contrast of having fun with friends in an outdoor environment like that and just being in that lovely space of acceptance, I find that I come back feeling like I've had a holiday. It's almost been a holiday, coming home and going, you know, just feeling elevated for days. For something so simple as a walk on the local beach or, you know, taking a walk to the seaside or something. So, yeah, I just think there's much more appreciation when we are having those lighter times, especially with other people. I think that's been really lovely. And sometimes I'll carry a drum in the back of the bike and we sit off and have our flask of tea or whatever, and, you know, play some mood drum or play some flute to the river, you know, and just have a little meaningful time out in nature. So, yeah. And of course, the pottery and allowing people to come and play with clay and just get a break from everything. That's also been more fun than I thought it would be. So, yeah.
So there I'm getting a lot of creative energy, right? Especially with your pottery. There's the connection to other people, obviously, just like what Andrea was saying as well. But also that being again, you know, working with your clients you work with in terms of the pottery, but playing the drums together, all of that. So that kind of energy. And also I think what you were saying, like by just leaving the house, and this is something, the energy of that, but just leaving, because I was having a chat with somebody and the person said, you got to get out the house. And I'm like, I'm kind of happy here, you know, all right, there's nothing that triggers me. And then I thought, okay, and this is why I chose to get out today. And I thought, okay, it is quite interesting when you choose something, when you just choose it and you don't know why you choose it, what awareness comes up? And this is that interesting phrase, choice creates awareness. And just by, you know, driving for 2 idiotic hours and just having this coffee, the coffee was just beautiful, so much better than any other coffee, right? And then this brisket, whatever roll we had, it's like, oh my God, I've never had that before, you know? So it's really, I think the invitation with change in fun is that no matter what happens around us, keep choosing to actually do stuff, right? Now, we've got quite a few hands up here. So I'm gonna ask Laura, I think you were the first one to put your hand up.
Yeah, I was just going to agree with Sue about getting out. And I think the reason that getting out and going somewhere makes such a difference, and especially if you're having fun as well, is it breaks up any stagnant energy. And I find I have to do that most mornings, whether I've had a good night's sleep or not, doesn't matter. It's been something I've done for a long time. And what you said, Sue, about you feel good, I can do, I don't know, I might do a 6-mile walk, a 10-mile walk. It seems the longer I'm out, the more euphoric I feel when I get home. And what might have looked like a mess at home, or at the moment I'm living with a lot of boxes and so on because I'm on another move, what might have seemed overwhelming before I went out is easy when I get back a few hours later. Or it can be as simple as having a takeout coffee on the beach. Now, if I'd have stayed home and made coffee, which I could do, that sort of stagnant air energy would still be with me. I wouldn't have got rid of it. But because I walk or just go out down the road and have a coffee, you change the energy around you. And I think that is really important, to change that stagnant energy. So I say to anybody who's a bit depressed, bit fed up, whatever, or things getting on top of them, just go for a walk, just go out, just go somewhere else for a couple of hours, even if you don't exercise. Go and give yourself a different experience, because your whole perspective changes when you go back home or wherever it is you've come from. I think it's a great perspective changer going out, and it's not always exercise. Sometimes it is just going somewhere different. And there's that old adage, isn't there, that a change is as good as a rest. And I think that is because we just need to change the energies around us sometimes, bring fresh energies back with us.
Yeah, there's actually 2 things that come up for me as you're saying that. One of them is like not tacitly consenting into what's happening around us. You know, it's like, yeah, obviously there are the rules and we have to stick to them to a certain extent and everything, but we can still make choices, right? No matter how minute they are. And making those choices is almost saying to the system, you can do whatever you want. We are still going to have some fun. We're still going to go out there. We're still going to do stuff. And it doesn't matter, you know, how big or small it is perceived.
That's because freedom comes from within. So it doesn't matter what the system says to you. The freedom is what you create within, isn't it? What you create in your own bubble of reality is where your freedom is. Exactly.
And the other thing that came up as you were talking is that, you know, when we go out, we change the energy. We change the energy wherever we go. We change the energy. So it's a contribution to us, and at the same time, it's a contribution to the places, spaces, people that we meet and go to. And sometimes, you know, we can perceive that as fun and joy too, just by us showing up. And I think this is one of the biggest thing with this fun, what we're trying actually to start to explore a little bit. What is this fun business all about? It's not just to kill boredom or something, you know, but it's the showing up as us and making that contribution, whatever scale that is at the moment. And that's the choice.
And the energy of nature changes us too, as Andrea was saying. I mean, you can go and have fun with trees, can't you? Walking along the beach, whether you're with somebody or not.
And the other way around, as soon as you walk onto the beach, you create with the beach. So there is this gifting going on. I mean, remember when last year, it was very apparent the first time when nobody was allowed to go into the parks even, you know, and as soon as you started going back, it was almost like they were like, oh, thank God somebody is here. You know, it's like, think of a house. When somebody leaves a house behind, when you leave a house behind, you don't live in it, how quickly does it fall apart, right? It starts crumbling very quickly, gets very. So the contribution of us, we must not underestimate that. Shoba, you've had your hand up for some time. You must unmute.
There you go. Just remembered something I love to do, and that is playing the harmonica in the car when I'm driving.
You mean, well, you drive and play the harmonica? How you do that?
Absolutely. It's a small little one, and you can drive and you can make all these crazy sounds. I'm not bothering anybody. And it's just the most, I find it incredibly relaxing, especially when I'm kind of like a bit frazzled. I just got my little harmonica sitting there. I bought one for something like €5 in Lidl. And yeah, I play my harmonica with one hand. You know, we're women, we can figure it out how to do all of that stuff, and drive and play my harmonica.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. You've never been stopped by the police for that, for harmonica?
Well, I'm not going to play it in front of the police, you know, I kind of just move it out the way, but I love it. Going on a drive and just playing my harmonica.
That's fabulous.
I'd forgotten about that.
Says
Thank
it's
you.
traffic therapy. I love it. Fantastic. What else we got? Cool, Shoba. Singing along while driving. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not allowed to use your mobile phone, but you can eat. I think that is still allowed, right? I don't know what the latest rules are. That's fantastic. That's a bit different, right?
It's fun.
Fun. No, thanks for sharing that. Andrea, what have you got? You got your hand up.
Right. So what Martina said is, which is what I tried to express earlier, but I think this way it's going to be easier. That on I thought it's May. I don't even know what day was it. After bank holiday, Tuesday. I woke up and I was watching the sunrise, and I did my Ho'oponopono into the sunrise. So I said the clearings into the sunrise, and that's it. So what happens is, when you do what I've realized, because I attended something last week, that we really don't know anything. We don't know what's going to happen. Like, for example, we're talking about fun. What I was talking about earlier is, I don't plan fun. Like Martina was saying, she didn't plan whatever. But when I do my clearing, my Ho'oponopono, what happens is you create, so whatever is the best for you will show up. And this is what Dr. Hewland did. Everybody said to him, oh, you did this, you did that. And he said, the whole universe laughs. He said, I didn't clear anybody. So what happened is, when he was invited to that hospital, all he did is what I did. He did clear him. And what happened? The people who were there wanted to have fun with him. They didn't want to see a psychiatrist, so they were making cookies. Or nobody was allowed to leave, and one day they were allowed to leave and they played tennis, or they did this, or went for a walk or a trip, or this is what I'm saying. So you don't plan fun, but fun will find you. Like, I was on the beach in whatever, by the coast in Easter, and I was just sitting there. I drew a heart in the sand. And then I was just there, and the dogs always come to me. And these loads of people, she says, oh, my dog, I said, don't worry, it's fine. And they just sat down next to me. Or one dog followed me into my door, and this guy was trying to pull the dog here in Twickenham, and I said, it's okay. So the dog was out of control. It's the biggest puppy I have seen. Even for me, it's hard to handle. I said, look, let him come in. He came in, he sat down, and he chilled. He said, so why did I do this? I said, nothing. Nothing. It's just let the fun find you. And it will find you, because
there are different kinds of fun. I like what you say.
yeah,
There's the one fun that is the spontaneous one, and then there's
yes,
plan that too. I mean, our trip to LA and Barbados, where we all met as the mentorship group, and that
yeah,
where all this hub started. That was obviously a planned one, which we had to plan. So there's different types of fun. But thanks for that.
yes. But when you're there, like, you don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen, because you can one day maybe see a dolphin, or somebody comes up to you, gives you $1 million. You don't know. Everything is possible.
Let's wait for that. Yes.
Everything is possible if you're willing to clean on it or receive it. Everything is possible.
Absolutely. Lana, you've had your hand up.
Yes, sorry. So what I like to do at times for fun is I like to go to the backyard and watch the squirrels chase each other, and the same with the rabbits. I just love watching them. They are so funny when they chase each other and they jump around and they do all kinds of funny tricks with them, each other, and that brings me great joy to just watch that. It is so much fun. And the other thing I like to do is I like to go out during the day, and I look at the clouds in the summertime. And I would take my drawing book out, and I would sit out there and I would look at the clouds, and I will take one of them and I will draw the shape of the cloud. And after I'm done with that, then I'll give it eyes and nose and things like that, and I'll make an entity out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fun for me to do. And another thing I like to do is go sky watching outside. Specifically, last year when there was this comet that came by that's called Comet Neowise, and that was fun for me to search out and find in the sky. And as soon as I found it, I had to call my family out and ask them to come out and see this comet, because we only see these things once in a while. They don't pass by very often. And I was so excited to see the one that's past year, in 2020, because it was a second comet that I ever saw. The first one I saw was in, I think, 1997, Comet Hale-Bopp. That was so much fun for me. And I shared it with everyone that I could possibly share it with and say, look, come and look. There's a comet in the sky, and you didn't need a binoculars or anything for it. You could just go outside, look up in the sky, and there it was. As clear as anyone could see it. And when I found this one last year, I just went outside in the backyard, and I took my binoculars out and I looked out in the back where, when I did some research where I should look in the sky. It took me only 5 minutes and I found the comet, and that made me so excited about that. So I had to call my family up and say, here, come and see it. It's out there. But of course, they didn't find it as much fun as I did. And I came out every night after that I could possibly come out, and when the sky was clear, to watch this comet. So those are some of the fun things for me to do, and I can do them by myself, and I don't need anyone else to do it with me. And another thing I like to do in the summertime is come outside with my camera and take photographs of all the flowers that are growing around in the yard and make beautiful pictures out of them. And that's another thing that is fun for me and I could do by myself, that I don't need another person to do it with or share that with. So, yep, that's all.
Well, thanks,
Some of
Lana.
the things. Yep.
Bringing that energy in as well, saying that, you know, you can have fun by yourself, not
Correct.
necessarily having to interact with other people. You're interacting with the sky, you're interacting with your own drawings and stuff like that. That is probably something we've all learned a little bit more, huh? In the last year and a half. I mean, I certainly have learned to that appreciation of, yeah, having fun, enjoying my own company actually more.
Yes, exactly.
And isn't that the beginning of any good relationship with other people, when you can have a good relationship with yourself initially?
Yes, yes, that's true.
I'm almost thinking the new kind of fun will go much deeper and much more radiant in a way, you know, with people being more complete within themselves, right? And then not looking for completion through others, but actually two complete people or more coming together and just out creating on top of that,
Yes,
isn't it?
exactly.
So it's exciting.
And when we're comfortable with our own self, and then we are becoming sort of expanding multidimensionally, because now we're inviting other beings in the universe to say, hey, I can come out and reach you halfway. Can you reach me halfway?
Exactly.
I don't need to ask someone who's a friend to come with me, because they might not be at the level of your experience where you're at to come out with you, to share that moment with you. So you have to do it on your own. And so that's expanding your field greatly.
Mm. And just really acknowledging that you're never really on your own, right? Because if you think of the I am fortification that we're talking about all the time, and today we have a bit of a softer topic, but you know, I think this whole lockdown business, or this being on your own, is allowing you to realize that you're never on your own, because all of a sudden you have all these different selves, these different aspects that you're actually starting to work with, and probably even start talking to them. Do you find
Yes.
yourself talking to the different aspects,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
In a way. So it's, for me, almost, it doesn't seem that I don't have people around me, because I always have beings around me anyway. They just don't necessarily have bodies at the moment. But other than that, I'm still co-creating with them and having some fun with them. I actually have more fun with them than with
Yes.
others with bodies.
They may have a body, we just can't see their bodies.
Well, yes, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Sorry, Amy, you had your hand up. Thank you, Lana.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Amy, you had your hand up for so
Yeah.
long.
Oh, that's okay. So going back, I have a couple things. Going back to Lana's comment about bringing people into your fun, I found out, like, people, I'm like, what don't they see that this is fun, you know? So I used to do that, and it's like, okay, this is like I don't even, like, I used to run kids camps, and the people that worked with me in it, they would look at me like, you are crazy. Like, I'm not doing that. But so it's kind of like, I figured out, like, yeah, I can just have fun with myself. That's kind of what that was. But I did have another discovery I made when I was writing the list about, you said what you used to have fun and what is fun now. And I saw a crossover from as a child, teenager, into my adult. So like walking in the rain as a kid, I still love doing that. Like, there was this crossover that was happening. I used to love to go to, my girlfriend's bedrooms, because I never had my own bedroom. And it was like, oh, this is so fun, just chatting with girls in the bedroom. Like, And I still love doing that, So it's kind of like climb trees. I don't do that one much anymore, but I don't know. Swimming pools, love swimming pools. So there were just these crossovers I could see happening. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else saw that.
Thanks, Amy. It's almost like I think this today is a bit like an invitation to contemplate, your victories, the things that you used to have fun with, that you could probably invite back into your life. You haven't thought about, because maybe just like Amy said, because now you're a grown up, right? And you don't do that type of stuff anymore. And then, of course, what else is there that we haven't even considered that is possible to be fun, which is now a possibility because, we have so much more time on our hands, and God knows what's going to happen. But there's a question for you. Has anyone made themselves really wrong for having a different kind of fun? You just mentioned something a little bit there, Amy. In a particular area, maybe. And some of us here, are mothers or, dads, or have a family. And there's one thing I remember, when I had my daughter, there were certain things like, there were always the mums getting together, talking about their babies and these baby groups and everything. And I tried it once and it was like, it killed me. I couldn't do that type of stuff. And I really made myself wrong for not being able to be part of those groups, and sharing that conversation and everything for a long time, because the way I brought up Emma was just different. Many things were not fun for me. What other mums, what other parents considered fun. And it took me a long time it took me some time to really look at that and redefine it. So being a parent was one of the things. Being a partner, having a relationship with a man or a woman, whatever, a man in my case, I had to completely redefine my relationship in order for it to be fun for me. Did you guys have experiences with that where you didn't fit into the fun profile?
Absolutely.
Just talk. We're not many people. Just go for it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I never fitted into anybody's profile of what was having fun. I remember as a child at school and the kids were having fun and everything, and I just didn't get it. I just couldn't get it.
And did you make yourself that? Did you think you were
Yeah.
weird, wrong with you?
Yeah, absolutely. There was no support on the other side to be different in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in a way it was only when really came to live here and this really magical place in the north of the island, and being able to explore the extensivity of the nature here, it's magic. And this was like going back to something I remembered as a child that was so beautiful and so wonderful when we were in nature. The smell of horses, the smell of dew in the grass in the morning, because I was born in London.
Mm-hmm.
And just being out there and seeing the ocean now and the blues and stuff like that, that is transportive for me. Felt wrong about it, taking time out and doing stuff like that. Yeah, very much so. But now it's like I'm slowly coming to terms with, what do I actually want to do? Mm-hmm. What is good for me? What is fun for me? And like with last night's conversation, what is really fun for me? Not just spiritual stuff, but fun. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a fascinating topic.
Well, it is, and this is why we've chosen it, because it's not funny. It's not funny not knowing what. Do you know what I mean? And lots of us have grown up in difficult conditions, right? Lots of people on their path of remembering and everything. And we really didn't have a lot of possibilities where we could just be those innocent children, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I've never been fucking innocent. I've never been a child, really. I've never felt like a child. I had to really learn it.
Yeah.
Continuously remind myself, what is fun? You know, what is fun for me? Is this fun? And you see, this is a question, actually. So there's a tool. This is an access tool. Whatever you do, whatever you be, yeah, just ask the question, is this fun for me? Is this really fun for me to be here on this Zoom? And if not, get off. Is it really fun for me to have this peppermint tea now? Yes, no. Communication with the body, you know, continuously asking, is that fun? And really, really defining what fun is for you. I think Alfredo just said life duties as a parent. I mean, I tell you what, it's a minefield. Being a parent is an amazing opportunity for you to figure out what fun is, you know, because there are so many, especially when the kids are young, you know, there's so many, oh, I can't be a failure as a parent, and look how they look at me, and, you know, it's my responsibility. How there is so much blah, blah going on about parenting, you know, and lots of the times the parents who want to be the best and can't fail are the ones that actually fuck up the relationship with their children the most. Yeah, they incarcerate them, they try to control them, not from a place of, you know, innocence, not innocence, ignorance rather. Yeah, that type of stuff.
I also think, Martina, what has happened is the global narrative has wanted to define what is fun for us, and particularly, like, you can't have fun unless you drink, unless you have alcohol. It's just one example. You have to go to one of these big, we've got lots of them here, as you have in America, you know, the big amusement parks. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I grew up with, yeah, we went to Thorpe Park, or we went on the pier to play in the slot machines and so on. And don't get me wrong, if there's like what do you call the horses that go round? If there's one of those in the local town, what are they called? Carousel, that's it. If there's one of those,
around.
yeah, that's it. I go on it now. I love that. But it seems to me, growing up, it was very much sort of, it was governed by, especially as a teenager, going to a nightclub. That will be fun for you. You must go to a nightclub, or you must drink alcohol to have fun. And as you get older and you realize what the system's doing, and that wasn't until much later for me, you actually realize you can decide yourself what is fun for you.
It's that buying into what the system is you know, putting out there on the plate. I remember in being obviously in the corporate environment for a long time, you know, going out, especially in the UK, to be honest, here, going out after work, you go to the pub, right? And it's like, it's lovely because I pay the first round, okay, around, all round, you know, so what you're having. And if you would have said, oh, just have a Coke, what? You can't just have a Coke. What is that? And actually really make you wrong, you know.
And what do they say? What do they say when you say you'll just have a Coke? They say, oh, you're no fun.
Oh, you're no fun.
You're no fun. It's not what they say, isn't it?
Oh, you're no fun. Yeah.
You're no fun. What's the matter with you?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You're no fun. So, okay, give me a bloody beer, right? And then, you know, we buy into it, you know. And yes, we might be more fun when we are drunk. I don't know. I don't think I'm more drunk, fun when I'm more drunk.
Laura, but there's always a flip side to that. For me, I think one of the best things I have done is given up alcohol. Last year, we had this, you know, when we are in lockdown and everybody started, like Martina says, or Laura said, that people started to drink, and I don't drink much. But one Sunday evening, we had this virtual party. I don't remember much, but I didn't drink since. So I just thought this is no fun for me, and I haven't drunk since, and I'm having even more fun.
Well,
And
you're
coming back to what Martina said, that the way we grew up, the way I grew up, I had fun. I grew up in nature. So for me, everything with nature is normal. I understand for a lot of people it's not normal. For me, it's normal, as my mother was very creative anyway. But like Martina said, my life was controlled for 16 years. So now I'm enjoying more and more and more, and having more fun and discovering what is more fun for me, because I was restricted the way I grew up. So now I am, everything that I can do for fun, I do it. Everything. And I don't choose it, I just find it. I just go and do my thing. And I made this scrub for my skin, like Martina said, feel good in your skin, right? Even if you're on your own. So I made the scrub, and I thought, that's nice. So I didn't plan. I didn't know what I'm going to put in it. I just put whatever, and
Yeah,
it's fun,
very creative when it comes to that. You've always been very determined, very creative. There's one thing though, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because you said you've been sort of incarcerated for 16 years. Lots of people, when they are under control, under the thumb for a long time, or in the box, they put themselves into, yes, we create our own reality and all of that. But once the box is gone, and once you are out there, and it's almost like, whoa, what do I do now? I mean, I remember when I got out of corporate in 2008, and I already did it slowly, and I had already prepared my Bowen, therapy and everything before that. But the buzz and everything, that gratification, that validation, that outside distraction, all of a sudden was gone. And then it took me years. I'm very honest here. It took me years to just allow myself to sit on the couch at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and have a cup of coffee, thinking, oh my God, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. And this is that should be. Are you guys having that too? Where sometimes, you're just actually having fun doing nothing, just being, right? You don't have to even meditate. You just do whatever you do. But, I should be doing something else. Do you get that too? Where you kill your own fun?
I don't anymore.
No, I know.
I don't. Because when I said 16 years, I was still a child. When that 16 year ended, I was still a child. Like I was 16 years old, if you will. And then worse things came after that. But when I left the work I used to work, I left it because I wanted to. So I was fine sitting at home and doing nothing. Like on Sunday, or when I said to my husband, don't wake me up. Nothing, don't do anything. I woke up at 10 o'clock. I never woke up I don't know what's the last time I woke up. And I feel good. I felt good. I think it was Monday. I can't remember. But doing nothing. I didn't do anything.
Nothing. This is another thing I want to actually say. What I've realized is, I often say to people, what have you done today? I did nothing. It's actually not true. Can you actually do nothing? Have you actually ever done nothing? Well, you get up, you have a coffee, you go to the toilet, you drink something, you eat something, you watch something. It's impossible to do nothing. Even if you just sit and think, you still do something. So I think this phrase of, I haven't done nothing, I haven't done anything today, let's destroy and uncreate that, because it's bullshit. There's no such thing as that. You never do nothing. And even if you just breathe, and that breath creates a difference in this world. We've heard that before, right? Even you being here now breathing, a bum on the street, doing nothing else, you're still contributing to this web, to this tapestry, to this remembering, because we all play that part, no matter what we do.
Yeah, nothing's like a relative scale. Are you putting someone else's, what someone else would be thinking you're doing, instead of just looking at from yourself, you know, from your perspective. Hey, I'm going to relax, and that's something.
So
You know?
here's the question. If you could never feel judged by anyone or anything, what would you do?
It's kind of been the last year, you know, then, you know.
One thing, what comes to mind right now? If you could never be judged by nobody, by nothing, by anything, what would you do?
We don't have to say, do we? We can just think it.
What would you do, Martina?
Stripping off naked and running around outside.
Yes.
That came to me just now.
What did you say? Sorry, Martina?
Stripping off naked and run up and down the road.
Go on then.
I'd go and swim without clothes on.
That's just the first thing that came to mind now, you know.
That's actually like being yourself, wouldn't it? Be comfortable with your own self. Just being.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I like Laura's bit.
Swimming naked. Yes. What did you say?
Go and hang out with a bunch of horses.
Swimming in nude. Swimming without clothes on. It's a lovely feeling. In the sea.
Laura, I'll be there Sunday, 6:30 a.m., okay? We'll jump in.
What I have done is swum out and then taken my bikini off in the sea, which is the next best thing.
So we have Casey says it sounds like a Zoom challenge. So now let's put a challenge up here. There's a Zoom challenge. Do the one thing that you didn't say now that came to mind. No, I can't do that.
What's that?
No, I can't do that. But you can maybe. But I could run in my garden naked when it's dark. I'll do that.
The thing is, Martina, I'm always naked, so all my neighbors put curtains in their windows so they don't see me. But the kids doesn't matter because they, you know, whatever's. But like that's normal here, you know. So I can do that at any day.
The challenge stands in terms of do something that is fun for you that you would have never considered doing before we put that challenge forward. All right. It doesn't have to be naked running around and all this bullshit. It can be anything. Just do it. Choice creates awareness.
Well,
You know,
I'd like to.
one therapeutic thing you can do. Talk to a cat. Martina, you have to put Milo on Twitter because Ricky Gervais has his cat. Her name is Pickle. And I always talk to her and she never judges me. And she always talks back. So if you want to interact with cats or animals, you can do it on Twitter. There are famous cats there. So Martina, you should put Milo on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to talk to a cat.
Twitter, he does TikTok. He's a TikToker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Lana, did you say something? Sorry, I didn't.
Yes. What I was thinking about just now is that I would like to sit on top of a mountain with a clear, bright, sunny day and look out from the top of the mountain and see as far as I could the beauty of the earth, Mother.
Naked?
Yeah, why not?
The theme here that's starting to develop.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
You could add that in, yes.
So here's
But that would be fun to do, you know?
Yeah, no, it sounds good. And, you know, it's possible.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a planned one, maybe, which needs a bit of planning, a bit of prep, you know, to get to that mountain.
If I could just think it if I could just think it and just be there, with my
okay,
mind, that
no,
would be awesome.
no, we must, this is what we need. Okay, this is important here now. This is what I'm getting, when we do those shows with Eddie. He's always pushing that point, and I'm understanding that now. Yes, we can do this, because I can sit in the house and imagine all these things and have lots of fun with it. Yes, I can. But there is a difference between actually doing it, going out there and doing it physically, getting us back to that exchange of energy with the mountain. Lana, just imagine, the contribution
Yeah.
that when you sit on that mountain. Imagine, Laura, the contribution that you are swimming in your joy, naked, in that pool, in that sea, whatever. So we need to really, I think it's almost like becoming human again. Really, really, I think this is the next level of exploration. Once we have what we have done now, we've gone through all this, and there's lots more to be doing. Hello, guys, you are late, by the way, an hour. Yeah, okay, GMT +1. And let it go, because this is a fun show today. Thanks for coming on too, yeah? So what was I saying now?
That we are
You're talking
contribution
about the
with our
mountain.
joy, a domino effect.
We have to really, we're doing so much work in the mind, in the spirit, with the spirit and everything. It's the physical action that is really now part of that spirituality, of that spiritual practice. That's what I'm starting to really, it's coming to the forefront a bit more, because it's getting so easy for us to just sit anywhere and start imagining that, going on our astral travels, dreaming and everything. But what we need to start creating again with our physical hands and bodies and others. Did you get that too, in a way?
I do it every day, Martina.
Do everything, but we're talking about us and others and all of that. Where are we not doing it? You know what I mean? So it's like, and of course there's more to that, and this is just it's part of what, it's almost like this new kind of energy is going beyond the sacred neutral now. It's becoming radiant, it's becoming alive, it's becoming dynamic. You feel that too, in a way? Okay.
Yeah. We're moving onwards. We're unfolding, the great spirit within us, and becoming more expansive, and we're remembering things that we've done in the past, and we are trying to manifest them again as part of our, our memories. So yeah, sure.
So like Susan is saying, deepening of our humanity again. I think once you cross that bridge, you have done the self-mastery and the sovereignty, you understand all the background, you start to remember, then that deepening of that humanity, which sounds really nice, thanks for that, is really coming back to the forefront. It's a bit like Andrea was saying, using nice body scrubs, or Dave was saying playing and everything. So there's the thing. What do you make of this differentiation between spiritual action and recreational action? Because that's been coming up quite a bit in the shows, where we say, okay, so yes, we do the spiritual work, and then there's the recreational work. How does that, what do you make of that? How does that work for you? Do you find that easy to separate the two?
No.
Yes.
I think they're both connected. You can't really separate them, because first you have the idea within your consciousness, and then you move forward with that idea and you make it visible into the reality that you're in the now. So no, you can't really separate the two of them, but we're getting closer where we can really knit the two together now. and really create from that. So that's what I think.
Yeah. The way I look at it, when I hear that, when AB says that, I hear that and say, okay, I understand the energy, but I have no distinction because I don't do spiritual anyway. I don't understand even, I've never done that. I always say that, and I don't have a concept of what that actually is, because for me, everything is in one pot. It's all, you know, me talking, me using my hands, me eating, it's all spiritual as far as I'm concerned, you know? But there is the element, the way I understand it, is that deepening of that humanity. Thanks again for that, you know, that really pure fun joy of being human. Almost like maybe stopping the seeking. That's probably what comes closest from my understanding there. What would to honor the differentiation, though, I can drop the responsibility aspect of the experience and just go with whatever being the human is at the moment. Drop the responsibility aspect. Yes, I like that, because I've already redefined responsibility for myself. I look at it as the ability to respond. That takes away the weight on my shoulders that I have to be and do. Right? For me, it's the ability to respond. So to be that experience in the moment, to allow myself that experience. So what comes up for you guys there when we chat about that with regards to fun and all of it?
Is Martina, I mean, I have written something about it, but it's not ready to be released yet. It will be maybe this week or next week, but I'm working a lot with Dreamtime at the moment, and a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff. And it's about, somebody touched upon here that, you know, we don't know anything, but when we take responsibility, I know for you it's a different word. For me, 100% responsibility is Ho'oponopono, because it's a clearing tool, but it's not a worry or not a weight or not whatever you define it. But what I'm saying is, when I do that, inspiration shows up. And the more and more I do that, that transpires to the whole universe, because if it comes off of me, it comes off of everything. But what I was writing about is, when it all came together for me, this dream time that you and Andrew talked about, and last week we talked about, that we are, you know, our ancestral lines or connections. We have those connections to nature, we have those connections to creativity, and we have those connections to fun. And last weekend, I have been passed a torch from those ancestors. So I have written about this. You will get it when everything is, you will see everything. But I have been passed the torch to be the transcended master. And this is the two words I wanted to give you: the transcended master. I'm not a guru, I'm not a whatever. What I'm saying is that we all have the opportunity to be, probably we already been past that, but we have not realized it, or the inspiration didn't come through, or whatever. But last weekend for me was a very incredible moment. And even in my dream time, I actually had a human touch, which was incredible. I don't want to talk about that, but it was fun, much fun for me. So I'm really into that at the moment, to create with it, to make it this reality.
I would like to suggest something. This sounds like an experience you want to simmer, let it simmer.
I'm not going to share anything, but what I wanted to say is that this ancestral bit with the fun, that we are actually more connected to it than we think we are.
Yes.
So I think it's so easy and simple that it's like almost like arm reach, and we overthink it when it's just there. You know what, this is what I wanted to say. But it's like this was an experience. I mean, this was a very deep experience for me. I don't want to talk about any aspect of it, but these 2 words I wanted to give you.
What I like what you just said was, it is simpler. It is much
Yeah.
simpler than we think. And so thanks for that, because that's a great energy to actually work with. And it's also leading us back to what we were just saying, being more human, right? Being more in the moment and having more fun. So Shoba, you had your hand. Thanks, Andrea, for that. Shoba, you had.
Yeah, hi. I think this is fantastic to hear what you're all saying on this, because obviously the spiritual action and the recreational work, I'm not able to get that at all. But just sitting here writing something down, it's a long time ago we were called professional disciples, because somehow, I guess in a way, couldn't make the division between the two. And what I see is like the opposite of professional disciple is just nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It's just silly stuff. It just makes no sense. So somehow for me, there's like an interconnectivity between these two things of what is spiritual action and what is recreational work. I don't get it. But if there's something like nonsense right in the middle of that, it's like, I get that. It's just some silliness. And within that, I can throw in being human. I can throw in all the other stuff that have, in a way, tried to strip away by being spiritual. And then that makes so much sense.
Fantastic. Going from no sense to sense.
Yeah.
I love it, because this is the no sense. This is the edge of the unknowingness, right? When nothing
Because
makes
it's not meant to make any sense.
exactly.
And to whom does it make sense? Why should it make sense to me?
Right.
Why should I try and figure out what makes sense to me in having fun? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, because it can be like, boom, a second, and there's something there. And so thank you for that. It's just to put nonsense in.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, the question would be for all of us, are we okay with that? To live our lives with no sense and talking nonsense and being nonsensical. Is that okay? Or do we feel judged by others, judged by ourselves? Because it's very much not what this narrative obviously, subscribes us to.
Yeah.
Amy.
Okay, so this makes what Shabna said makes sense to me, because what I've been feeling lately is when I look around, it's like, this isn't real. And it kind of like was like, oh God, what does that mean? Like, none of this is real. And it was really kind of like nonsense. Like this, what is this? Why, what is happening? It just didn't, that's all I can explain it. It just didn't feel real. But I'm still human, I don't know if you can help me just kind of like get that feeling of, yeah, what is this?
So, and this is the thing, stop the seeking. We have to stop the seeking. And, asking a question is not necessarily going into over-analysis or, overly seeking. Asking a question is just creating more awareness. It's almost like, making a choice creates more awareness. Asking a question creates more awareness. That's why when I ask a question, I don't necessarily expect an answer, especially when I work with myself. I always ask myself questions. What else is possible here? What else can I do that I haven't considered yet? But it's like I throw that out, because, it actually, what it does, it changes the energy, just like that energy, that what is that? This is an illusion. What is that? But just asking, what is that? With a, I don't have a problem with curiosity. Yeah. But let's call it wonder. With that,
Yeah.
energy of wonder, like, what is that?
Nice.
You know? And then just allow, because the energy changes and different awarenesses just come up, and they might come up not necessarily right away, but they might come through dream time, or they might come through something that you see, you know. I mean, like today, you know, going and driving for 2 hours for this coffee is nonsense, right? Total fucking nonsense. You know, and then we weren't even supposed to go where we were going, but we were going to this market, and the market, it was too difficult. There was no parking. There were so many cars. And I said, no, let's go. And all of a sudden I found myself where I used to live when I first came to the UK. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, now I know why I had to do all that, you know? And it was completely not, the planning was only, what can we do today to get out of the house, change the energy? That was the only thing. And then the market came up. And, you know, so one thing led to the next, and that is fun for me. And it often starts with nonsense, making no sense. And can we allow ourselves to do that? Now, can we be so undefined? Because that's what it is. It's the definition. Yeah. Lots of us are, you know, I don't know, engineers or doctors or this or that, and have our certificates for this or that. But can we just be everything and nothing at the same time, and choose whatever is in that moment?
Oh, lovely.
That was a fun. What are the men?
Yeah,
Men
thank
talk,
you for that. Oh.
yeah, men talk to us about fun. We need a male fun inspiration.
Oui.
Well, Martina, sorry that I'm late, but if we're talking about playtime,
Yes.
I like to play my instruments. I like to play my bass, and that's what keeps me motivated. That's what keeps me happy. That's what keeps me connected to my inner child. It's an instrument that I can communicate with. It's an instrument that I can go into self-discovery.
No,
It's everything for me.
Stop talking. Do it. We want to hear it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Let me plug in.
Finally,
It's playtime.
playtime. What is it called?
Called an electric bass. Can you see it?
We saw a little bit of it. Yeah, we can see you. That's good.
And can you hear me?
Oh, wow, that's deep. Nice. Yeah, bass isn't deep. Yeah, I'm so bad with musical instruments.
Frequency, vibration, harmony, tune A equals 432 hertz.
A mouth organ.
I'll leave that up to you. If you want to belt one out, baby, go for it.
Go, Ellen. Go, Ellen.
No.
Fabulous. Woo! How often do you play that?
I've been playing on and off for decades, since high school. I'm in a band, and we're not really playing too much anymore. So I get to play for myself, and it's just as fun, just as enjoyable. And yeah, that's how I play. And you can make it recreational, or you can make it sacred recreational too, whatever you want to apply at any given moment.
So you can perceive the difference. You can work it different, recreational or sacred, spiritually different.
Correct. And there are some pieces that I have created that are very highly inspirational. It's sort of like the ancestors are speaking to me, more of that raga feel. So it's just great to have that introspection, that self-discovery. It's a great tool, and for anyone who wants to learn how to play an instrument or pick up a a hobby. I think Andrew's always talked about that, the importance of picking up a hobby, one that you can like and one that you can use your hands, bring the body into it.
So let me ask you a question, Alan. I've got a problem with instruments. I bought myself a hang pan. Yeah, those drums, steel drums type of things, bloody expensive, years ago. I can't get myself to learn it. What is, I've actually had a lesson with somebody else. It's like I have this, it's almost like I can't coordinate. It doesn't sound like anything, and I don't allow myself to just sit there, to just tap on it, I overcome this. I can't do this. I should know how to. I've got this amazing hang pan, and it's in my yoga studio underneath the thing. And every day now, it's almost like calling me in, saying, "Okay, bitch, are you ready now?"
And the tones of that instrument are really beautiful. It's not like a gong. It's not like a cacophony for you. So it would be attracting you. And when you can play by yourself, you don't have any of the pressure of others watching and whatnot. So it would be very easy for you to then engage and interact with yourself. So I'm surprised, Martina.
Yeah, me too.
Martina, I'm gonna tell you something.
But quickly.
Quickly. No, I'm slow now. I think you already know how to do it. And I think the famous artist said, just do it. Because we have this belief, I don't have this belief, but some people have a belief that you always have to have a certificate for something, you always must learn from somewhere, or this and this and that. We can just do it. If you have it, you must have an ancestral connection to it, or some kind of flow, or some kind of something that you bought that. So you already know it, but we put these things in our head that I must learn is, for me, I just did my clearings and I'm okay, I'm not gonna believe anybody, but I'm gonna trust me. And I did that with certain things that I'm not gonna talk about now, and I can do it successfully. And I have not learned it from anything. Of course, on YouTube you can research, but that's it. You just sit down and do it. And the famous artist said, remember, was it Picasso? Which one was it? The famous artist said, just do it. You don't have to learn anything, just create.
Nike said that.
Who?
Just do it. Nike.
No, there was a famous artist that, look, you don't have to learn anything, just do it. You don't have to.
I'm just gonna say something here, because we were talking about the Zoom challenge, right? This is my Zoom challenge. I'm gonna start playing. I just need it
naked. Yes, this is it, Martina. This is it.
And just like Alan showed us a little thingy now, I will play as well. I think I just needed somebody to, there's a word for that? Make me responsible? No. What's the word? Anyway.
Simple.
Inspire.
Accountable.
Accountable. Thank you. Yes.
Accountable. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So yes, I have to do it. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, I did play a little bit, but it doesn't sound like. And then a friend of mine came one day, and he plays the drums, and he's like, "Oh, this is so cool." It's like, and I'm like, what? Want to put the time in. It's the determination. I'm not a big determination person, I think, sometimes, but that's a limiting belief as well. So I have been practicing a lot. My kind of fun at the moment is to really do challenges like a 40-day Kundalini challenge. Yeah, like I have to do it every day, half an hour breathing, to learn to become more not determined is not the word. Consistency. I think consistency it is. Yeah. So anyway, blah blah. So this is my that forward. But that's fun for me. It will be at some stage, I promise. What else? let's talk about more fun. It's we've already had quite a bit.
I have a fun thing.
Yes.
Also, I would recommend that you record when you do it so that you can look at your progress. So one thing I do for fun, I totally forgot this. I have a little karaoke microphone.
Mhm.
So I do karaoke. So I do karaoke and I record it. And I can tell when my voice, I'm like, oh, that sounds really good. It's not, but to me, it progressed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that accountability as well. That's the word. Thank you. I need to write this down actually. See, I don't even have this word in my thing. So that's the thing I will do.
Alan, I have a question for you. When you're just making stuff up, you ever think like light language and you're just, playing the music of the light language?
Something like that. There's a translation from another side where even I become the instrument, and oftentimes I don't know what I'm doing. When I'm playing with my band, we are recording new music where we don't really play a lot of the older stuff. We like to improvise, and in that comes that muse, that translation from the other world. And oftentimes, again, at the moment that I'm recording or playing, I have no idea what I'm doing. When I hear it back, that's when you can use the analytic mind and you can hear some of the great magic that comes out during those moments. I don't know about the light language, but I know it's all about frequency, harmony, and vibration. And tuning into the music and sharing that with others, playing that with others, using elements of dynamics, syncopation, and rhythm and meter. I think it's a blast. It's all about playtime.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
And Martina, you learn how to play the drums. I will accompany you with my bass. We can do the bass and drums.
What you just said, I know what it is with me. What you just said is what I love. I love that everything just, I don't know what I'm doing, but there's the one thing I haven't even allowed myself to learn the basics, because I suppose you had to learn the basics with your instrument too, right? Before you could start improvising. And this is why I've said, fuck it, I didn't need the basics, right? I'm just gonna, and that's what it is. I have not allowed myself to do that. And this is what I need to now do. What I will do, I don't need to, but I will choose it. To just learn the basics. YouTube, yes. Introvert show, yeah, no, Jesus. No, but yes, I will. So thanks for that. No, that was fun for me too. Thank you. What else you guys got? Sean, what is fun for you? You haven't spoken. You got a fun bit to share with us? Yeah. Anyone else? Was that fun for you, that show? Eating is fun, yes. Too much fun? Absolutely, yes. But I used to, what was really fun for me was entertaining people. We used to have often like almost up to 100 people in the garden, preparing all the food, salads. Paul was braaiing, the barbecue and stuff. And that's all gone out the window. I'm not enjoying this anymore so much. I've really done that for so long. So that, yes, here you go. And healthy too. Yeah, so that entertaining people, I've done a lot of that. That used to be a lot of fun for me. Not so much now anymore. Even this Easter, we had Easter, my Easter feast, I opened a tin. I just ate, I was on my own, and I just thought, but it was fun for me to do that too, because it was almost like, no, break the traditions. And I just, that was fun for me to do something like that. Well, everybody else was doing their leg of lamb and stuff, and I had a tin of, I don't know, soup. I thought, that's fun. That's a bit different. Break the traditions. Doesn't mean that I can't do this again at some stage. And I did watch. I watched a couple of those cooking shows. on TV, you know, with all the Easter feast. And I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting what people eat, you know. What did you guys do? Did anyone do something fun during Easter in particular?
I went to the restaurant downstairs, which is another place I have fun. It's run by a family. Mom and dad are in the kitchen, son's outside running the floor.
Aww.
And it's you know, it's been a tough year for them because of the lockdown and that, but it's a place I go to have fun and hang out, and you know, that was enjoyable.
Cool. So what else would be fun? What else would be fun to chat about? Oh, let's ask another question here. What is the opposite of fun? What is not fun for you?
Having to be at work. Even working from home, it's like it's taking my time. You know I get paid for it, but you know, sometimes it's just like drudgery. Like Fred Flintstone waiting for the crow to go off. If you know American cartoons.
Yeah.
Yes, the Flintstones. Yes, I do know them. Yeah. Well, even better that you're here today, which is a treasure, a gem.
Yeah, I can kind of, do stuff here. Sometimes I have people that I'm talking with that I can't break away.
So what is not fun for somebody else? What is not fun? What's not fun for me anymore is to go to a restaurant and eat just because other people are hungry. And I'm going and I don't necessarily enjoy the food and I just eat whatever, but because it's the easy way out. Let's say that. The easy way out for me is no longer fun. Did you know what I mean? And it's not just at the restaurant. It's like I used to do a lot of that easy way out. The easy way out. It's no longer fun for me. It takes more energy for me. It's almost like, okay, look at the energy of that. It takes more energy for me to not be who I truly am. To make myself less than I truly am. That's
to conform to other people's expectations of who you should be in that situation, instead of, well, wait, I've beyond that way of thinking. Kind of like what Laura talked about earlier with the drinking. Universities here, it's alcohol is it. If you're going to have fun, you have to drink, and then it carries on after that. And even, in the culture of, drinking and, watching sports, that's a weekend,
Yes.
And it, you have to break away from that to,
So we talked a little bit about those energies before, in terms of everything becomes more radiant, more dynamic, sacred, neutral, yes, but more of that volcanic energy. I look at it as a volcanic energy. That's the new color for me anyway. Yeah. Think of the lava, think of the orange, red, browny lava. That's the ninth color of time for me. And anything that's not that, I would not consider fun. It doesn't mean that I can't do it. I can totally be in allowance of any of that, but it's not really fun. So there's a huge distinction that I can say now. I know what's fun. You're talking to you guys, talking to on a Tuesday show. That is fun because I can be me. Talking sense and nonsense, that's all included in that. So sometimes to just it's a numbing, almost a numbing of who we are. Do you get that too? Do you find that?
Martina, you really hit the nail on the head, which is, I made a comment earlier that we have been programmed and kind of dehumanized or defined that only the big companies can create. Not true. I can create a scrub, not just a big company. You can create your nice soup for yourself and eat it naked in the garden while you're playing the drums. And whoever doesn't want to watch it, then go inside. It's like we can create that, but we were programmed that we can't do that. So now more and more people discovering, yes, I can create that. Yes, I can make that. So going to a restaurant, yes, is easy because they make it for you. But if you make it yourself, you put your blessings in it, you put your prayers in it, you go to the beach and eat it. Wow, this is what I did at Easter. I said, I'm not having all this Easter whatever. I made the food, I put it in a takeaway, out as early as I could wake up. And then one day I just slept all day, like I rested my body. But it was so much more enjoyable than going to a restaurant and sit and watch people and whatever. I don't know. We can't even do it. But like for me, that's more fun because then I got to interact with people, interact with nature, swing, find the glass. It's so much more transcended from that. Just that I didn't choose to be at home, stare at the four walls. And you're right, we were told this, no, pay us, give us your money, we do it for you. No, I can do it for myself.
Well, that's fun for you. And it's fun for me when you bring me food. Very fun for me.
I am planning a biggie this week.
You cook it for me.
I'm buying a biggie this week. I'll just put the things in.
Lana, you had your hand up.
Yeah, what I was thinking when you were saying what's not fun is like, it's not fun for me to listen anymore to people complain about everything around them, about the leaves in the fall season. It's too much leaves. It's always blowing all over the place. Silly things like that. It's not fun anymore to listen to this. Or somebody want to chop down an old tree in their yard just because they can afford to do it, or because they believe it's going to fall on top of their house one of these days because of bad weather or something like that. It's not fun to listen to this. I've moved past all of that. And yeah, that's some of the things. Or listen to people gossip about nonsense. These are not fun things to listen to. So yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Oh, thank you. And there's a lovely way of working with that, because I think this is part of that separation of density to a certain extent, isn't it? Where you can there's no judgment in that. Yeah. And especially like you said it, Lana, there's no judgment. It's just an awareness that this works for you and that doesn't work for me anymore. And it's just like, you can be the most kind person, the kindest person, say, thank you very much, I've got to go. You find an excuse to get out of that type of, and that's actually fun again, isn't it, in a way?
Yeah.
Actually, and you can be so kind. And there is a true kindness to that, to yourself, number one, and also to that person to a certain extent,
Yes. That's usually what I do. I just kind of, nod my head, listen, and then move away, because I think it's part of the our growth, and then the separation of density is happening. So you can see the divide between you and another person who is in that space of, being that way. And that at some point you were also there, but now you've moved away from that, and you've done your spiritual work and work on yourself. And so those are more lower frequencies that you can now recognize them in other people when they're expressed. But as you said, you show compassion and kindness, and then you just step away. So yep,
absolutely. And more often than not, these particular people have lots of other attributes that actually can be a great contribution to you. I have been finding that with people I've known from, you know, in other countries. And it's almost like when I go and visit them now, it's like, yeah, there are certain topics I just don't bring them up because that's not,
Correct. Yeah.
but they have such other contributions to me. And I can sit there and be like, oh, wow, you think like that. And I didn't think like that, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like you cross that bridge and you can start seeing the other things that you haven't seen before in those people. And I think
Yes.
it's back to being human, you know, and really acknowledging that we're all human. And this is really that when we acknowledge that duality, you know, and that we all have different, that we're acting all different roles. We're all
Yes.
different pieces of puzzles, right?
We have to remember too, we go back to, we're all the best of the best of the best here. So we all got something to contribute to the realm that we're living in.
Absolutely.
So the things are being exposed even more now in each person. So yeah. But
Yeah.
the question was what you don't enjoy anymore, what
Yes.
you don't find as fun. So that
Yes.
was really
And it's perfect.
what we were trying to cover.
Definitely. Thanks for that. I'm definitely with you on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, lovely peeps. Does anyone want to share anything more? Anything about fun? Anything that we haven't covered? There's lots of things we haven't covered, but any good questions that we could ask? Chocolate is fun. Yes. Too much fun. Absolutely. No? Cool. Then we're going to call it a day. And I wish you all a fun evening. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being you, not allowing yourselves to be less or dimmed or anything like that. And we will be back next week with some more fun shows, right? And remember, we are GMT +1 now because we need you here, guys. We need you all.
Naked, everyone. Next week, naked.
Think of for yourself. Think of it soon. Do it for yourselves. But I'm definitely get my hang pan out. The studio. I'm gonna start.
Just do it.
Do it, Nike. Thank you.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.